Greetings and shalom. So, if anyone's old enough to remember this movie, Bamboozle, directed by Spike Lee, I believe this movie came out 25 years ago, but it was really profound during that time. Now, when we look at our modern society, we don't see so called white men or Caucasians painting themselves in blackface. Our people do that today because of the miseducation, the victimization, and just our people not knowing our real history. But they mock us through these films, TV shows, etc. And of course, through the Caucasian Jew being the top of the food chart and so forth. And entertainers are nothing but minstrels. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but when you really look at the etymology of the word, that's what they represent. They are not leaders of a community. Now, right here it states about this movie: dark, biting satire of the television industry, focusing on an Ivy League educated black writer at a major network. And we know that a lot of these elite so-called blacks in Hollywood, they're bought and paid for. Okay, they went to these Greek fraternities or they're part of the boule per se. Frustrated that his ideas for a Cosby Show-esque take on the black family have been rejected by network brass, he devises an outlandish scheme reviving the minstrel show. Now we all, or at least some of us who grew up during the 90s and 80s, remember the Cosby-esque type shows. Family Matters, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You can even throw in The Parent Trap by Robert Townsend, which is a really good show, was underrated. But those about the ideal so-called black family. Reading on, this is the hook. Instead of white actors in blackface, the show stars black actors in even blacker face. The show becomes a instant smash, but with the success also came repercussions for all involved. And we see this today through social media. You don't have to paint the all black face and red lips. It's just that our people are doing it to get fame, fortune, and to get ahead and devalue themselves. But at what cost? I want a show that will make. Now in Hollywood, you always see these two paired up: the Negroid or the people of the book, the Israelites, and a Caucasian Edomite Jew. The perfect pair, right? The black and white. The coming together of opposites, at least in the Babylonian Kemetic mystery system, that they throw in our faces. Also, they're throwing up the Monte Cornelio's sign, at least the black one. So now we're on page 82, The Negro as a Moor, in the book Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers. Now right here at the top of the page it states number of Blake or black. It's blacker man, black man, and blackamoor, another form of blackamoor. This is quite independent of the fact that Anglo-Saxon for black and white sounded much the same. They were spelt the same, blank or black, meaning absence of color. White, however, was accented. I am dealing with families named black that had Negroes. Another important fact, there is a good reason to believe that families with names as Negro, Moor, and their derivatives, but do not have blacks in their coat of arms, had Negro ancestors. Also, still another proof of the presence of early Negroes in England is that of the Morris dance. England's national dance is of African origin. It might have been brought over by Moors with the Romans, and it seems certainly by the Moors with William the Conqueror in 1066. Sir John Hawkins, an earlier authority on music, says it is indisputable that this dance was the invention of the Moor. Its Negro origin is further seen in that white dancers, keyword white dancers, blacken their faces to dance it. The Morsera, says Paul Nettle, was one originally a dance of the Negroes or Moors, and the pantomime of one or more Negroes and blackface, then quite generally a masquerade or pantomime, and in particular a play or song sketch in which Negroes took part. There's nothing new under the sun, right? In the 17th century, any sort of masquerade was called a moriscade because the guise of the black man was the most important and popular, a phenomenon which points on the one hand to the significance of the black race for the aesthetic life of the whites. Because we got to remember, black people were not always in a servile position. They like to teach that in the Americas because of the brainwashing and indoctrination. On the other hand, to the ancient inhabitant of all Europeans to paint the face black on certain occasions of cult ritualism. So blackface equals royalty, at least back then, okay? Negro and coat of arms of noble families, Moor in German, M-O-H-R, German families with names of Negro origin. So right here it states, white people blacken their faces not only for the Morris dance, but because of attraction for a dark skin. McRitchie says many British peoples of fair complexion were accustomed to blacken their faces artificially that they might the better pass for Moors. To understand this fully, one must divest himself of all notions of the American dogma of color superiority. Ding, 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 ding. See, a lot of our people don't understand the European aspect of our history because we've only been taught the slave narrative. Okay?
I've been dreaming how pretty I was going to look tonight. Well, here's my punishment for thinking so well of myself.
This is tough to put on and take off. You know you're lucky? Chicken house? What am I waiting for? I don't know. Me either. Tell Hope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, mister.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all, Miss Bellman.
Yes, Miss Maggie.
Brothers and
Baldwin was right. Maybe he was wrong. But, as my father often told me, always keep 'em laughing.
I want some cheese. Then that's not enough. You put some cheese on it. Put that sauce. Put that sauce. Excuse me. Put that. No, I gotta put that sauce.
Come where my love lies dreaming, dreaming the happy hours away. In visions bright redeeming the fleeting joys of day.
And kicked him in the face. Do you, sir, say that such a man was sane? Why, sure do. He'd been crazy if he kicked him in the other ear.
Mr. Bones, it seems to me that you've not been looking so well lately.
No, sir. I've been mightily poorly.
Well, what seems to be the trouble, sir?
Well, sir, I was nursing my old sick horse. And the next thing I knew, I was suffering from a breakdown.
Gentlemen, is that not touching devotion? Mr. Bones here attending his sick horse so faithfully that his own health broke down.
Afternoon, neighbor. Afternoon to you. Howdy, friend. Well, you boys gonna just stand there gawking? Or you gonna move aside for a white man? Why, yes, sir. Step right on past, sir.
Say, Bones, ain't that Mr. Bill from up on the hill?
Yeah, now, Mr. Interlocker, I can't be sure. You know most all white peoples looks alike to me. Even your wife, Mr. Bones.
Perhaps it's time for a song. I wonder would you favor us, Mr. Bones?
I'll be honest. I have a riddle for you, Mr. Interlocutor.
What is your riddle, Mr. Bill?
Do you know why there are no white folks in the audience?
Well, no,
Because they all have red necks. Hell are you trying to do? Kill, don't kill. How long are you gonna take it, Harry? How long are you gonna go through this humiliation and abuse? When are you gonna stop fighting back? Not when there's more than 200 drunken yahoos out there just waiting to shoot my black butt off.